Good evening. This is Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore, and we are a multinational hedge fund, 100% profitable. Today, we would be covering three important topics in our Facebook Connect, which has happened very recently. Number one, the institutional investors in India are consistently selling, which precisely means that as we speak, March end, institutional investors sold 1.5 lakh crores in India. You heard me very right. And in April also, institutional investors were net sellers. Now, today is Monday. Wednesday, we would have FOMC meeting. FOMC stands Federal Open Market Committee. And FOMC meeting, we expect a rate hike of 50 basis point. Now, if US would be hiking the 50 basis point, then this would definitely have catastrophic impact on the global economy and also on the US economy. Number one, if US would be hiking by 50 basis point, then they are already standing at a debt of near about 32 trillion US dollars. It means that their refinancing cost would go up substantially across all tenors. And US would be paying this. They're already paying a very hefty amount as a refinancing cost. I wish US to increase the rate by 50 basis point in the meeting on Wednesday, because that will pave the way of the dollar default very soon. I know that many people who are watching, probably later on they would be watching on the YouTube, they would disagree or they would criticize because I'm using a word dollar default. Similarly, like in 2018, I talked about the Indian startup ecosystem. And today, do you know what is happening in the Indian startup ecosystem? Similarly, few months ago, I said that Asian economies would be, bankrupt very soon. And you see what is happening in Sri Lanka, what is happening in Nepal, what is happening in other Asian economies, including Pakistan. Keep the Indian politics aside. Please be rest assured, one by one, all Southeast Asian economies will collapse. So, if Federal Reserve would be hiking the rate by 50 bips, then this would pave the wave of the dollar default. And that would be very important, because China and other countries of the globe seriously wish dollar to hike the rate. That's it. As we speak today in the financial markets, as always, the markets ended up in loss because institutional investors in India are quitting. And if this trend persists, probably for another few months from now, then institutional investor would be only in the books, because they already sold 1.5 lakh crores. And if they would be selling again, then it would have a catastrophic impact on the Indian capital markets, because domestic institutional investors do not have the big firepower to invest. They have the limited firepower. From the last 6 months, they are resisting. But how long they would be able to resist, that is a big question, at least to me. While as far as the interest rates are concerned, the treasury bills, the government securities, the overnight index swaps in India, the interest rate are more or less intact. Like if I speak the 12 months treasury bill, which is always I would say discounted instrument, is near about 4.80%, while 10-year government security is 7.12%. As the debt level of India is rising, that too substantially, sooner you will see a substantial hike in the interest rates of government securities. The reason is not the debt, plus the reason is the Federal Reserve also. Because if the Federal Reserve would be hiking the rate, say by 50 bips, then RBI left with no other option but to hike the rate. And if RBI would be hiking the rate, then the Indian financial system, which is already in a deep mess, would further go into the mess. So day after tomorrow, Wednesday, would be a very important meeting, and our desk would continue to keep a watch on that. We are completely hedged, whether FOMC would be hiking by 50 bips or 75 bips or not a single basis point of hike. To us, it really hardly matters. Let it be honest. Today in the market, Nifty is near about 17,000, and I remember that few months ago the so-called legendary investors, they were giving the predictions that Nifty will go to 25,000, or some intelligent person was even talking Sensex will come to 100,000. And I was like, what the hell you are talking? Because Sensex touching 100,000 means that the ground reality is completely different than what we envisaged in the system. But anyways, we all know that what is happening what is happening. So I would like to give you a few glimpses of what I have downloaded today. First of all, the IT sector in India is in complete mess for two reasons. Number one, the euro is falling. As we speak, euro is near about 1.05. And God knows euro will again try 1.02 also. I'm not sure about that, but if euro will try 1.02, then we know what is going to get happen. Anyways, so according to the statistics, around 38% of the Indian IT companies' revenue is coming from Europe, which means either it is coming in GBP or it is coming in euro. If we speak about GBP is 1.25 and euro is 1.05, which means that both fallen a lot. If this trend persists in both GBP and euro, then it would have a substantial impact on the profitability of the Indian IT companies, especially the money which is coming from Europe. And like I said, 38%, I repeat, 38% of the funding, basically the remittance, is coming from, is coming from Europe. 38%. Second problem which Indian IT company is facing, that institutional investor is not buying IT stock anymore. I'm not naming any specific IT stock, but Indian IT stocks were the darling of institutional investor. Once again, I am not naming, but I have seen 2 or 3 stocks, those who were like up and up, and I was every day thinking what the hell is going on, because fundamentally speaking this is not possible. But at a given point of time, when institutional investors started selling, then the same stocks came down. And today there are many IT stocks who are at throwaway prices. Example, Wipro. Wipro is near about 500 rupees. near about 500 rupees, considering the balance sheet of Wipro, considering the cash which is lying in the books of Wipro, then it is an attractive price. I repeat, do not treat this as a call. I am not asking or telling anyone to buy Wipro. I repeat, I am not asking or telling anyone to buy Wipro. Similarly, if we look at the Tech Mahindra, which is near about 1200 rupees, considering the balance sheet of Tech Mahindra, it is slowly coming to intrinsic value. More or less the story of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys and SCL is intact. I remember that from the last few months, Indian media is giving sufficient hype to Wipro, to TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. And thanks to the mess which is created known as buyback. But you know what had happened? You know where the TCS is right now. Although TCS tried very hard, the marketing, 18,000 crores of buyback program and whatnot. See yourself from your eyes where the TCS is. So Indian investors again fooled by Indian media by giving hype to TCS. Please be rest assured more such foolishness would come. I'm always long in the metal sector as far as the market is concerned, and I strongly feel that the metal sector is, really very important sector for any economy. And I feel that the Russia-Ukraine war, which is going, and currently Russia-Ukraine war is in a very tactical stage. I think tactical is the right word because Russia is very close to Kyiv. Although Ukraine forces are trying very hard to stop Russia, but unfortunately Russia is close to Kyiv. I don't know what would be the scene, but having said that, whatever news which is coming on the Google is definitely not conducive as far as Ukraine is concerned. But I wish, Ukraine will win this war. But having said that, God forbid, if Russia won the Ukraine, then maybe many more, I would say, European countries are on the cards. I'm not naming any specific European country, but you can check on the Google, the names are there. In this eventuality, we may trigger a World War III. Having said that, United Nations General Assembly, United Nations President himself, NATO, they all failed to resolve this problem. So I am consistently watching on the Russia-Ukraine war, and I would let you know. Today, the 30 script Sensex, which includes the IndusInd Bank, NTPC, Power Grid, Tata Steel, HDFC, ITC, HDFC Bank, Ultratech Cement, Bajaj Finserv, Bharti Airtel, Nestle, Mahindra and Mahindra, Axis Bank, TCS, ICICI Bank, majority of them ended in the losses. I remember about Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv that few months ago how they were like beyond valuations. But now if you look at Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv, both are coming down, and they would come down more. Guys, always remember that no stock can retreat or stop the intrinsic value. Every stock has to come closer to the intrinsic value. Those who fly in the air without having substantial base, they have to come down. That is the beauty. But today I would like to focus more on a stock called Infosys, because I'm observing Infosys from the last several weeks, I would say. Infosys is currently trading near about 1540 rupees. And I remember that, I remember that the Hindi media hyped Infosys and said it would touch 1800. And I was like, what the hell? How would Infosys touch 1800? And now check yourself that Infosys is very, very near about, 1540 rupees. And if institutional investor would continue to sell, which I foresee, thanks to the Federal Reserve and many other factors just like Russia-Ukraine war and all, in that eventuality, Indian IT companies will further come down. I see a substantial fall in the Indian IT companies if the FII continue to sell. And unfortunately, I don't see any reason why FII should, I would say, they'll stay in India. Overall, I am personally bullish on the metal sector. I have already uploaded the video on the YouTube. I am bullish on, the pharmaceutical sector, though I know that the Indian media is painting the negative picture of the pharmaceutical sector. And I'm definitely bullish on the IT sector, provided I will get 10% to 15% correction from here. And I'm sure I'll get the correction. I need to wait. I am waiting. I have no problems. Having said that, like I said at the beginning of 2022, that this year and the subsequent years would continue to be volatile. We need to be very, very vigilant. Hindi media will continue to do their role. You know how Hindi media work. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You know our personal number 9899242978. 9899242978. Have a great time ahead. Thank you. As a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. We are a multinational hedge fund, completely proprietary in nature. No third party can invest, and more importantly, 100% profitable. Before I start today, I would like to give you a good news, which is our OTT platform Over the Top is few days away from two big milestones. Number one, in this month of May, we would be starting our Hindi videos on OTT platform, which practically means we would be bilingual in nature. So just like Amazon, Netflix, we would be bilingual in nature. Currently, all the videos are in English. So we are few days away from that milestone. Second is probably tomorrow evening, maximum I would say, we are entering in the world of CFA trainings, which means our OTT platform would be handing over videos covering CFA trainings, covering 8 minutes each. We are few days away from these two milestones. And for our OTT platform, more milestones are on the cards. We are committed to be a very big OTT platform, but unlike movies, drama, documentary, cricket, and all these, it would be a knowledge-based OTT platform. I have already uploaded my video on YouTube channel covering my opinion about Life Insurance Corporation IPO. And from the last several weeks, I am consistently saying that my fund would not be investing in Life Insurance Corporation IPO. Because I strongly believe that LIC is completely overpriced as we speak, keeping the current equations as a backdrop, just like Russia-Ukraine war, the fiscal imbalance in India, the role of LIC as a domestic institutional investor, foreign institutional investors selling in India, and hell lot of factors. I feel that LIC is completely overvalued. Henceforth, our fund is not going to be investing in Life Insurance Corporation. Rather, as and when LIC would get listed on NSE and BSE, our fund will not invest in LIC at least for many months. So assuming at the end of May, LIC get list NSE or BSE, our fund will not invest in LIC at least till September and October. And we will wait by the time we get our own price. Of course, in this Facebook Connect, I'm not naming or I'm not telling what is my ideal price of LIC, but I strongly feel that LIC is overvalued. I share the same perception about Paytm, about Zomato, about Policy Bazaar, about Nikia, about Card Trade, and many more companies. And you know what had happened. But that's a separate thing, that paid, sold, and corrupt Indian media is always reluctant to share this. And this is one of the problems why I would say the situation is getting messier in the Indian capital market. And please be rest assured, the situation would continue to be messier. Because by the time we speak, we trust the media. Today also, I got a very important statistics about Life Insurance Corporation from the Google. So this is not the proprietary information. This information is very much available on the Google. I got this information probably in a stage-wise manner. I would be making the videos in that regards. But having said that, after reading this information, I was like, what the hell is happening in the system? Because after Paytm, one thing I raised is that why Indian mutual funds are investing in loss-making companies. So before I start this, to be a delivery boy in India, you need to be a graduate, But majority of the cricketers and Bollywood stars who even not graduate, they are promoting the financial products. Just like Akshay Kumar is promoting the insurance product Policy Bazaar. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is promoting a bank, promoting non-banking financial corporation. Ranveer Singh is promoting crypto. And there are many leading examples. This is a sheer evidence that the investors are carried away because of these Bollywood or cricketing personalities. Just like Rohit Sharma, the Indian cricket team captain, is promoting mutual funds. Mahendra Singh Dhoni also promoted mutual funds. Sachin Tendulkar promoting DBS Bank. So, the novice and the retail investors get carried away. but the sleeping system of India will dare to stop this. So a cricketer or a Bollywood star who is a 10th fail, who do not know F of financial market, who do not dealt with financial market, who do not have any form of knowledge, experience and expertise in financial market, is promoting the financial market products. And unfortunately, the retail investors in India trust them and invest. So there is an ad which is coming, which is called Mutual Fund Sahi Hai. In this ad, which is Mutual Fund Sahi Hai, they believe that mutual fund is a good product. So you should invest in a mutual fund. Rather, you should invest for a long term, because if you invest for a long term, you will get a very decent profit. But after looking at the statistics which is provided by the Google, I, of course, raising my voice once again, because to me, like, dislike, comment, views, counts, subscribers, these things hardly matter. To me, these all are immaterial. The only materialistic thing what matters is the knowledge, which, by the way, I am chasing every day and would continue to chase till the last day of my life, regardless of the perception. So today I got the information that the anchor investor portion of Life Insurance Corporation IPO has been fully subscribed on 2nd May. LIC said in a stock exchange, over 71% of the anchor book portion came from domestic mutual funds. It means around 30%, precisely 29% came from foreign people. So if domestic mutual funds not participated in LIC, it would have been another mess for LIC. Anyways, marquee investors who participated in the anchor book included Government of Singapore, who is a debt-ridden government. The debt to GDP ratio of Singapore is near about 130%, and it's growing every possible year. The Government Pension Fund, the BNP Investments, Monetary Authority of Singapore. I don't know how come Monetary Authority of Singapore, who by the way is a regulator in Singapore, MAS we call them, how would they get a chance to invest in LIC? Anyways, Societe Generale, Invesco India and Saint Capital Fund. Domestic investors include SBI Mutual Fund, ICICI Prudential, SBI Life Insurance, Aditya Birla Sun Life, Axis Mutual Fund, HDFC Trustee, Nippon Life, Kotak Mahindra Life Insurance, L&T Mutual Fund, Tata Investment Corporation, UTI Mutual Fund, Sundaram Mutual Fund, IDFC Mutual Fund and Bajaj Allianz General Insurance. Now the biggest question is, these all financial institutions, either they are mutual funds or they are the trustee companies, or maybe they are the insurance companies. Now whether you are a mutual fund, you are a trustee company or you are an insurance company, the investments which you're doing in LIC is a retail investor money. So today, if I invest my money in a mutual fund, then whether it is State Bank of India, whether this is SBI Mutual Fund, ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund, Aditya Birla Mutual Fund, Axis Mutual Fund, they invest my money. Many big mutual funds invested in Zomato. They did invested in Paytm, invested in Nokia, invested in Policy Bazaar, invested in Car Trade. But the corrupt Indian media, I repeat, the corrupt Indian media dare to ask any question that you invested 100 rupees, what is the valuation of that 100 rupees as we speak? Indian media will never ask such questions. Now I got another statistics, a very interesting statistics, and of course more videos would be on the cards. Mutual funds pumped 4,000 crores in the anchor book of Life Insurance Corporation. So near about more than 5,500 crores, you can say. Out of 5,500 crores, around 4,000 crores is invested by the domestic mutual funds. 4,000 crores. Who owns this 4,000 crores? Whose money is this 4,000 crores? Is this the money of the mutual funds? Is this the hard-earned money of mutual funds? This is the hard-earned money of Indian retail investor who invested in mutual funds, and in turn, mutual funds invested in Life Insurance Corporation. Another interesting fact, I would say the interesting fact is that mutual funds invested at around 949 rupees. So the LIC anchor book closed on 2nd May with 59.2 million shares on offer, and out of 59.2 million, 42.1 goes to domestic mutual fund. Around 99 mutual funds, around 99 mutual funds invested 4,000 crores at a piece of 949. An anchor book is having a limitation, which means that after listing you cannot sell the shares, you need to wait. 99 mutual funds invested 4,000 crores. Guys, this is the witness. What should I say about LIC? A company whose market share was 80% at a given point of time, and now it is around 64%. The competitors of Life Insurance Corporation is slowly and steadily gaining the momentum. If we speak ICICI Prudential, ICICI Lombard, whether this is HDFC Life, they are gaining the momentum, and of course they are registering a good profit, not to mention this. They are coming up better products than Life Insurance Corporation. LIC bottom line, which is also known as PAT, profit after tax in our parlance, it is between 2,600 crores to 2,900 crores, which means whether this is financial year 19, financial year 20, and financial year 21. The Life Insurance Corporation, I would say bottom line, which is profit after tax, is between 2,600 crores to 2,900 crores. And this company is asking a valuation of 14 lakh crores at a given point of time. I was also in the media at that point of time that what the hell, a company just 2,600 crores of net profit is asking near about 14 lakh crores of valuation. But I don't know what had happened or what had not happened. The government slashed the valuation from 14 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores, which means less than 50%. And none of the media house raised this as a concern, that how come the valuation of LIC decreased from 14 lakh crores at a given point of time to 6 lakh crore, which means less than 50%. And now another scary news which is coming Of course, I have more news, but I don't have the time. That 99 mutual funds invested near about 4,000 crores in the anchor book. 4,000 crores. Now, this is how the things happened in India. Let it be honest. When a Bollywood star who is a 10th fail, a cricketer who is also a 10th fail, who do not know the F of finance, who never worked in a treasury department, who do not know how the Reuters, Bloomberg, how these screens look like, who do not know, the different type of mutual funds do you have and how to compute the valuation of a mutual fund, what is the accounting treatment of the mutual fund, how mutual fund, the so-called asset management companies invest. They promote mutual funds by saying mutual funds sahi hai. This is what you get on the media, right? Mutual funds sahi hai. And once the retail investor pump his money by watching people like Rohit Sharma, the current captain of KKR team, and earlier it was Mahendra Singh Dhoni, not to mention the champion of the universe, Sachin Tendulkar. They invest the money, and in turn, these mutual funds invested 4,000 crores of retail investor money in LIC. So this raises a lot of question. Of course, more videos would come. What would if these mutual funds not invested? Then think yourself. More videos would be on the card on YouTube. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number 9899242978. I repeat 9899242978. These cricketers and Bollywood stars, they need to understand one thing. Not everyone is sold in India. That's very This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore. We are a multinational hedge fund, but proprietary, which means no third party can invest funds in our hedge fund. And our fund is 100% profitable in nature. So, आज रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया की पॉलिसी आई और रिजर्व बैंक ने रेपो रेट को 40 बेसिस पॉइंट हाइक कर दिया। भारत की बिकाऊ मीडिया के बहुत सारे बिकाऊ एंकर्स, कुछ के तो मैंने स्टेटमेंट भी आज गूगल पे चेक किए और बाकियों के कल करूंगा, उन्होंने इस पॉलिसी की तारीफ करी। कॉमन सी बात है, क्योंकि उनकी ना कल इतनी औकात थी या नॉलेज थी कि वो इसके अगेंस्ट जा सकें। ना आज उनकी इतनी औकात है, ना ही आने वाले 100 साल में उनकी इतनी औकात होगी। एग्जाम्पल, आरबीआई का कहना है कि देश में इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ रही है, इसलिए हमने रेपो रेट हाइक किए। गुड। तो आरबीआई से पूछो कि देश में इन्फ्लेशन कम थी कब, जो अब बढ़ रही है। 2014 में कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट के टाइम में भी तेल 130-140 तक गया था, लेकिन तब तेल में आग नहीं लगी थी, लेकिन अब लगी। इंडिया में पिछले 1 साल से इन्फ्लेशन इस लेवल तक पहुंच चुकी है कि इंडिया में सेविंग क्राइसिस ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट हो चुका है। अब सेविंग क्राइसिस क्या होता है? सेविंग क्राइसिस का मतलब होता है कि अगर आप 100 रुपीज कमाते हैं तो 80 आपके एक्सपेंसेस हो गए और 20 आपकी सेविंग। लेकिन अगर इन्फ्लेशन इस रफ्तार से बढ़ती है तो आपकी सेविंग्स नेगेटिव हो जाती हैं। इंडिया में आज इन्फ्लेशन डबल डिजिट से भी ऊपर है। जैसे कि मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं कि दुनिया के मेजॉरिटी सेंट्रल बैंक्स, रादर मैं बोलूं टॉप सेंट्रल बैंक्स, इन्फ्लेशन कंप्यूट करते हैं 2 बेस्ट मेथड से, जिसमें एक मेथड आता है HIPS। यूरोप के सेंट्रल बैंक्स HIPS से कंप्यूट करते हैं, जबकि यूएस जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर से कंज्यूम करता है। तो ये 2 दुनिया के बेस्ट मेथड्स माने जाते हैं इन्फ्लेशन को कंप्यूट करने के लिए। लेकिन इंडिया में रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया इन्फ्लेशन कंप्यूट करता है WPI से, होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स। यानी कि एप्पल के इस जमाने में खड़े होके किसी ऐसे मोबाइल फोन को यूज करना जो कि बिल्कुल वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम है, यही हाल आरबीआई का है। अब आरबीआई ने 40 बेसिस पॉइंट रेट हाइक कर दिए और भारत की बिकाऊ मीडिया के बिकाऊ एंकर आरबीआई के इस मूव को जस्टिफाई करने में लग गए। आपको पता है इकॉनमी पर इसका डिवास्टेटिंग इंपैक्ट होगा। डिवास्टेटिंग इंपैक्ट का मतलब होता है ऐसा इंपैक्ट जिसे सहना असंभव होगा। मैं आपको समझाता हूं कैसे। आरबीआई के 40 बेसिस हाइक करने से एक सिस्टम क्रिएट होगा। उस सिस्टम को कहते हैं, वो ऑलरेडी है, जबकि वो इंडिया में कंप्लीटली फेल्ड है और आरबीआई ने खुद इस बात को कई बार एडमिट किया है। आप गूगल पे चेक कर सकते हैं। उस सिस्टम का नाम होता है ट्रांसमिशन मैकेनिज्म ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी। अब ये ट्रांसमिशन मैकेनिज्म ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी होता क्या है? जब सेंट्रल बैंक 1 बेसिस पॉइंट का रेट हाइक करता है तो जितने भी कर्व्स उस देश में होते हैं, जिन्हें बेंचमार्क कर्व या की रेट कर्व्स के नाम से जाना जाता है, वो 1 बेसिस पॉइंट से अप हो जाने चाहिए। लेकिन अगर वो 1 बेसिस पॉइंट से कम हाइक होते हैं तो ट्रांसमिशन मैकेनिज्म ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी को फेलियर माना जाता है। सिमिलरली, अगर सेंट्रल बैंक $1 1 बेसिस पॉइंट रेट कम करता है तो उस देश के जितने बेंचमार्क, उस देश का बेंचमार्क कर्व प्लस जो एसोसिएटेड कर्व्स हैं वो 1 बेसिस पॉइंट से कम हो जाने चाहिए। यह टैक्टफुल मेथड होता है। इंडिया के अंदर ट्रांसमिशन मैकेनिज्म ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी नाम की कोई भी चीज एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती। और सबसे खुशी की बात तो ये है, सबसे खुशी की बात यह है कि आज तक किसी भी मीडिया संस्थान ने, फिर चाहे वो न्यूज़पेपर हो, चाहे वो मैगजीन हो, चाहे वो आपका आपका टीवी चैनल्स हो, फिर चाहे वो डिबेट हो या कुछ भी हो, उन्होंने इस बात को कभी भी रेज नहीं किया। और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर ये है कि 99% इन्वेस्टर को ये भी नहीं पता कि ट्रांसमिशन मैकेनिज्म ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी नाम की भी कोई चीज होती है। ये उससे भी खुशी की बात है। तो अब आरबीआई ने अगर 40 बेसिस पॉइंट का रेट हाइक किया तो प्राइवेट बैंक्स अपना रेट बढ़ाएंगे। तो जितने भी फ्लोटिंग रेट हैं, जैसे कि ईएमआई, घर का लोन, पढ़ाई का लोन, बाइक का लोन, शादी का लोन, एजुकेशन का लोन, रियल एस्टेट का लोन या कोई भी लोन, वो सब 40 बेसिस पॉइंट से ज्यादा बढ़ जाएंगे। लेकिन इंडिया की मीडिया इस बात को कभी रेस नहीं करेगी। तो जब बैंक के रेट बढ़ेंगे तो कॉमन सेंस की बात है, जिन जिन लोगों ने बैंक से बोरो किया होगा, राइट, या तो उनको एडिशनल इंटरेस्ट पे करना पड़ेगा। और ये तो आप अच्छे से जानते हो कि इंडिया के अंदर बिजनेस धंधों की क्या हालत है। हां, 2-3 बड़ी बड़ी कॉरपोरेट्स रोज तरक्की कर रही हैं। उन 2-3 कॉरपोरेट्स को छोड़ दिया जाए तो ग्राउंड रियलिटी आज इंडिया में ये है कि मेजॉरिटी कंपनीज या तो लॉस में चल रही हैं या वो अपने एम्प्लॉयज को फायर कर रही हैं। इसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल ये है कि पिछले 8 सालों में 10 से ज्यादा बड़े बैंक्स इंडिया या तो छोड़ चुके हैं या अपनी वर्कफोर्स या अपने बिजनेस को ट्रिम कर चुके हैं। 3 या 4 से ज्यादा बड़े ऑटोमोबाइल ब्रांड्स इंडिया छोड़ चुके हैं। और अब जो सुनने में आ रहा है, दुनिया की बड़ी सीमेंट कंपनियों में से एक होलचिन सीमेंट, वो इंडिया छोड़ के जा रहा है। तो ये तो ग्राउंड रियलिटी है इंडिया की। अब रही बात पेटीएम, ओला, स्विगी, उबर, जोमैटो, लेंसकार्ट, अपस्टॉक्स, ये सारी घाटे में चल रही हैं। और हिस्ट्री विटनेस है कि घाटे में चलती हुई कंपनियां ज्यादा टाइम तक सरवाइव नहीं करती। तो 40 बेसिस पॉइंट का हाइक करने से बैंक, जो बेसिकली लेंडर है जिसने फ्लोटिंग रेट पे फंडिंग उठाई है, उसकी बुक्स में जबरदस्त इंपैक्ट होगा। और मेजॉरिटी कस्टमर इस इंपैक्ट को फेस नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो वो क्या करेंगे? नॉन परफॉर्मिंग असेट्स। जैसे कि एक पब्लिक स्टेटमेंट के हिसाब से पिछले 7 से 8 सालों में नियर अबाउट 11 लाख करोड़ से ज्यादा 11 लाख करोड़ से ज्यादा का नॉन परफॉर्मिंग असेट फेज आउट कर दिया गया, सिर्फ अपनी बुक्स को चमकाने के लिए। लेकिन क्या उदय कोटक या इन जैसे लोगों ने आपको बताया? कभी नहीं बताया होगा। लेकिन अगर यही उल्टा होता तो आप उदय कोटक को देखते सबसे पहले। अब सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट, जब इंडिया में एनपीए साइकिल बढ़ेगी तो बैंक्स की बैलेंस शीट पे और स्ट्रेस आएगा। चाहे इस देश की बिकाऊ मीडिया इस स्ट्रेस को दिखाए या ना दिखाए, लेकिन स्ट्रेस आएगा। और इसे बोलते हैं क्रेडिट डिपॉजिट रेशो। इसका मतलब होता है कि अगर किसी बैंक में 100 रुपए का डिपॉजिट है तो उसको कितना क्रेडिट दिया गया, मतलब कि जो भी बोरोवर्स हैं उनको कितना क्रेडिट दिया गया। क्रेडिट डिपॉजिट रेशो फॉल करेगी टेक्निकली, और अगर वो फॉल नहीं करती तो इसका मतलब नॉन परफॉर्मिंग असेट्स की साइकिल दोबारा से रिन्यू होगी। ये तो पहली चीज है। हाँ, ये अलग बात है कि इतने विस्तार से आपको हिंदी मीडिया वाले कभी नहीं समझाएंगे, क्योंकि उनको आता ही नहीं। उनको एक चीज आती है कि पीछे से उनको फोन आता है और उस दिन वो उस स्टॉक के पीछे पड़े रहते हैं, बस। अब दूसरी सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, आरबीआई ने सीआरआर हाइक कर दी 50 बेसिस पॉइंट। और आज मैं कई बिकाऊ एंकर्स के स्टेटमेंट देख रहा था और उनमें से एक ने भी सीआरआर पे अपनी स्टेटमेंट नहीं दी। अब सीआरआर क्या होती है? कैश रिजर्व रेशो। बैंक अपने डिपॉजिट का कुछ पार्ट आरबीआई को जमा कराता है कि गॉड फॉरबिड अगर कोई ऐसी इवेंचुअलिटी हो जाती है, कोई ब्लैक स्वैन इवेंट हो जाता है, तो डिपॉजिटर्स को कॉम्पेंसेट किया जा सके। यह है अकबर बादशाह की सीआरआर की डेफिनेशन, जो अकबर बादशाह छोड़ के गए थे। लेकिन अब सीआरआर का कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने येस बैंक में देखा, दीवान हाउसिंग में देखा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लीजिंग एंड फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज में देखा, पीएमसी बैंक में देखा और ऐसे कई केसेस में देखा कि उसके इन्वेस्टर आज भी धक्के खा रहे हैं। लेकिन सीआरआर में 50 बेसिस पॉइंट हाइक का मतलब है कि बैंक के पास जो डिपॉजिट आता है वो डिपॉजिट अब आरबीआई के पास 0.5% ज्यादा जमा होगा। अब सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट ये है कि सीआरआर में इंटरेस्ट नहीं पे किया जाता, जो कि पे किया जाना चाहिए। यानी कि अगर आप 100 रुपए का डिपॉजिट लेते हैं किसी कस्टमर से, तो 5 रुपए का सीआरआर, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं, वो 5 रुपए का सीआरआर आरबीआई को जमा होता है, लेकिन उस पे कोई इंटरेस्ट की पेमेंट नहीं होती। अब क्योंकि उसमें कोई इंटरेस्ट की पेमेंट नहीं होती, तो बैंक्स को ज्यादा पैसा आरबीआई को डिपॉजिट करवाना पड़ेगा। इसका मतलब कि उसे संक असेट बोलते हैं। संक असेट का मतलब होता है ऐसा असेट जिसपे कोई इनकम जनरेट नहीं की जा सकती। इसका मतलब बैंक्स की जो एनआईआई होती है, जिसे बोला जाता है नेट इंटरेस्ट इनकम, वो नीचे गिरेगी, क्योंकि कॉस्ट ऑफ लेंडिंग बढ़ेगी और कॉस्ट ऑफ बोरोइंग भी बढ़ेगी और एनपीए भी बढ़ेंगे और सीआरआर का इंपैक्ट एनआईआई पे क्लियर दिखेगा। मैं तो हमेशा से बोलता हूं कि नोबेल प्राइज कमेटी को आरबीआई को एक मोमेंटो हर साल देना चाहिए। पूछो क्यों? क्योंकि आरबीआई की नॉलेज इतनी शानदार है कि आइंस्टाइन का बाप भी उसको जस्टिफाई नहीं कर सकता। पहले तो आपने रेपो रेट बढ़ाया 40 बिप्स से, जो कि अनवारंटेड था, जिसकी कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं थी। दूसरा, आपने सीआरआर हाइक किया, जिससे बैंक्स की बैलेंस शीट पे स्ट्रेस बढ़ेगा, ना कि कम होगा। और ये सीआरआर हाइक होने से कोई भी बैंक एक्सेप्शनल नहीं रहेगा। ऐसा नहीं है कि इसका इंपैक्ट कोटक पे ज्यादा होगा या एचडीएफसी पे कम होगा या आईसीआईसी पे नहीं होगा, ऐसा नहीं है। सभी पे इसका प्रोपोर्शनेट इंपैक्ट होगा। हाँ, जिसका जितना बड़ा डिपॉजिट है उतना ही बड़ा इंपैक्ट होगा, वो कॉमन सेंस है। जिससे कि सिचुएशन और खराब होगी। बैंक इस लॉस को कॉम्पेंसेट करने के लिए अपना इंटरेस्ट रेट अग्रेसिवली इंक्रीज करेंगे, जिससे कि रिटेल बोरोवर और कॉर्पोरेट बोरोवर दोनों की बुक्स पे हैवी डेंट होगा। कॉमन सेंस। लेकिन हिंदी मीडिया को यह बात अभी तक समझ में नहीं आई और उन्होंने ना बताई। इसका इंपैक्ट आपको स्टॉक मार्केट पे भी दिखेगा, क्योंकि अगर बैंक्स की बैलेंस शीट पे इंपैक्ट होगा तो कॉमन सी बात है बैंक निफ्टी नीचे होगी। कॉमन सी बात है, बैंक निफ्टी नीचे होगी। और जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि इसमें कोई भी एक्सेप्शन नहीं होगा। हाँ, जिसका जितना बड़ा डिपॉजिट उसको उतना ही बड़ा चूना लगेगा, ये है। और उस चूने को मतलब उस चूने को करेक्ट करने के लिए वो आगे कस्टमरों को चूना लगाएगा। और कस्टमर की बैलेंस शीट तो पहले ही वीक है, तो वो बेचारे को कोई क्या चूना लगाएगा। अब इसका इंपैक्ट निफ्टी पे भी पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हिंदी मीडिया के बहुत सारे एंकरों ने बोला था कि निफ्टी 25,000 चली जाएगी, सेंसेक्स 1 लाख चला जाएगा। आज सेंसेक्स 1 लाख चला गया और निफ्टी 25,000 चली गई। और मैं कितने लंबे समय से बोलता आ रहा हूं कि जो इंडिया की ग्राउंड रियलिटी है वो निफ्टी 10,000 से ज्यादा सपोर्ट नहीं करती। और इतिहास गवाह है कि दुनिया की हर चीज अपने बेसिक फंडामेंटल पे आके ही रहती है। जैसे मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं ऊबर का। ऊबर जब लिस्ट हुई थी तो उसकी वैल्यूएशन थी $100 बिलियन। सही सुना, $100 बिलियन। और मैं ऊबर के सीईओ का इंटरव्यू ब्लूमबर्ग टीवी पे देख रहा था और सिर्फ ये सोच रहा था कि किस हद तक हम बिक चुके हैं कि हमें ये नहीं दिखा कि एक लॉस मेकिंग कंपनी की पहले तो लिस्टिंग हो गई और फिर उसका प्राइस, उसकी वैल्यूएशन 100 बिलियन तक पहुंच गई। आपको पता है ऊबर की लिस्टिंग को 2.5 साल से ज्यादा हो गया, लेकिन आज तक ऊबर के स्टॉक प्राइस ने अपनी लिस्टिंग प्राइस को भी टच नहीं किया। और आज खड़े होके जब बना रहे हैं तो ऊबर का स्टॉक $29 है, 29। और अभी यहां से और नीचे आएगा। तो हर चीज अपनी रियलिटी की तरफ आती है। मैं फिर इस चीज को रिपीट करता हूं, आरबीआई ने जो डिसीजन लिया है रेपो रेट हाइक करने का और सीआरआर बढ़ाने का, इसके इंडियन इकोनॉमी पे जबरदस्त नेगेटिव रिपरकशन होगा और उसे कोई रोक नहीं पाएगा। स्पेशली स्मॉल एंड मीडियम टर्म एंटरप्राइज जो कि बैंक के क्रेडिट पर ही चलते हैं, जिन्हें के पास बैंक की क्रेडिट लिमिट होती है, वो सबसे पहले मरेंगे। उसके बाद बड़े बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स मरना शुरू होंगे। इस डिसीजन से इंडिया में एक नई एनपीए साइकिल, नॉन परफॉर्मिंग असेट साइकिल का इनिशिएशन होगा और वो आपको जल्दी दिख जाएगा। मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि इस वीडियो को देख के मुझे कितने लाइक्स मिलते हैं, कितने डिसलाइक्स मिलते हैं, कितने कमेंट्स मिलते हैं, कितने व्यूज मिलते हैं, कितने सब्सक्राइबर्स मिलते हैं। मेरे लिए ये सारी चीजें अब व्यर्थ हो चुकी हैं, क्योंकि मैं एक चीज समझ गया हूं कि मैं उस सिस्टम में जी रहा हूं जो पूरे का पूरा या तो बिक चुका है या वो इनकॉम्पिटेंट है। इस डिसीजन का इंपैक्ट ना स्टॉक मार्केट के लिए अच्छा होगा, ना इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर के लिए अच्छा होगा, ना बैंक निफ्टी के लिए अच्छा होगा, ना किसी के लिए अच्छा होगा। यह बात मैं आपको आज लिख के दे रहा हूं। दिस इज राहुल मगन फ्रॉम ट्रेशी कंसल्टिंग ग्रुप। You knew my personal number 9899242978. I repeat, you knew my number 9899242978. Have a great time ahead. Good evening. This is Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore. And we are a prop hedge fund. By prop hedge fund, I mean that we only trade on our own capital. And as we speak, our fund is 100% profitable in nature. Before I initiate, I'm extremely pleased to share that our OTT platform Over the Top successfully tested the 10 minutes video like I promised you 1 month ago. 1 month ago, we tested 1 minute video, and as we speak, we tested 10 minutes video. It means now our subscribers can have knowledgeable videos which covering financial markets, credit derivatives, accounting, wealth management, mutual fund, research and analysis, treasury management system, CFA, and many other in 10 minutes. Now, take my words. Now we tested 10 minutes. We will stick to 10 minutes for at least 1 month. So the whole June, we will make 10 minutes permanent. In July, we would be moving to 12 minutes. And eventually, slowly, we would be having 15 minutes video by end of July. So since 10 minutes is done, by end of July, we would be 15 minutes video. And this process would definitely continue. Today, I am covering a very interesting topic. Like, I don't know whether you are following me on the YouTube or on the social media, that up to you. But from the last several months, I am saying one thing upfrontly on the social media, which is the global financial markets are not yet ready for the rate hike. This is something I am consistently saying in the last few months, be it any market, because central banks are giving an excuse that since inflation is going up, they need to tame the inflation. To tame the inflation, they need to hike the rates. But from the last several months, I am consistently repeating that the global financial markets are not yet ready as far as the rate hike is concerned. Now, let's have a practical demo. Few days ago, I don't know, all of a sudden, Reserve Bank of India hiked the repo rate by 40 basis point and CRR, cash reserve ratio, by 50 basis point. In totality, the impact on the banking system is not less than 90 basis point, 40 plus 50. Now, this is a technical thing to understand how repo and reverse repo and CRR needs to be added. But the impact on the banking system is near about 90 basis point. What had happened? As we speak, Indian financial markets are consistently falling. And now the Nifty is near about 16,300. And if this trend persists for another few days next week, then I'm sure Nifty would be moving in the territory of 15,000. By the way, I am consistently saying since long time that the fundamental of Nifty do not deserve to be at 16,000. I have an evidence. I am a person of research. I never speak, theoretical knowledge. Like, this is the total pages I print in just few minutes, and I'm going to be reading line by line. One of the prints which I have taken is the national debt of India. I will show you. This is a print which I have taken. This is the print. Now this is the national debt of India. Now, according to the statistics provided by a website called Statistica, in 2016, keep the politics aside. Please do not enter into the politics that the BJP, the Congress and all these. Please, we are talking about as a nation. So I request keep the politics aside, please. In 2016, the national debt was 1.40 trillion. The national debt of India was 1.40 trillion. By 2022, according to the same information, the national debt is near about 3.1 trillion. Okay, make it plain, 3 trillion. Okay. Now, this is the information which I got from a website called Statistica. Of course, a lot of mathematics to be done. I need time to compute this, but to do the mathematics, which probably I would be doing very soon. Now, International Monetary Fund also said that the India target of 5 trillion GDP, which India is targeting, a 5 trillion GDP will not happen in 2024. It will happen by 2029. And by the way, they have also raised the dollar to around 94. They are forecasting $1 would be equals to 94 Indian rupees. I don't know what the hell they are talking it about. But anyways. But if International Monetary Fund is saying that the GDP of 5 trillion would be in 2029, I'm telling you right now that it will not even in 2029. The reason is very clear. The reason is the ground reality is very, very poor. Like if you look at the national debt, in 2016, the national debt was 1.40 trillion. In 2017, it was 1.58 trillion. In 2018, it was 1.76 trillion. In 2019, it is near about 2 trillion. In 2021, it is 2.34 trillion. In 2020, 2.3 trillion. In 2021, it is 2.7 trillion. In 2022, it's around near about 3.1. Precisely, you take 3 trillion. It means the Indian debt is expanding and expanding at a much faster pace. As we speak, the debt to GDP ratio of India is the GDP of India is near about 3 trillion, which means if I go with the same statistics, the debt to GDP ratio of India is near about 100%. Now, according to a website, I haven't printed that, but I noted on my piece of paper. As of 2021, the total GDP of the globe was 94 trillion. So the total GDP of the globe was 94 trillion. And total debt of the globe is near about 250 trillion. Which means the debt to GDP ratio of the globe, not talking about any specific country, but the debt to GDP ratio of the globe is near about 2.5 times, because the total GDP is 94 trillion and the total debt is 250 trillion, which means it is 2.5 times. Keeping this as a backdrop, India RBI, where the FX reserves as of 29th April fallen below 600 billion and NIIP, which is Net International Investment Position. NIIP, the Net International Investment Position, which is nothing but the difference between FX assets and FX liabilities. It is already negative to the tune of 200 to more than 200 billion. Now the FX reserves of India has fallen below 600 billion, which effectively means that the NIIP would be negative. Keeping this as a backdrop, Indian RBI decided to increase the rate by 40 basis points without any warning. Inflation in India is already skyrocketed. Whether this is petrol, whether this is diesel, whether this is food inflation or anything. Now banks would be hiking the rates, and the impact of this would be in the hands of the normal investor. The similar is the scenario of the Federal Reserve also, where US is standing at a debt of 32 trillion US dollars. And as we speak, the Federal Reserve hiked the rate by near about 50 basis points. Now the yields are going up. Now, since the yields are going up, in that eventuality, I repeat, in that eventuality, the refinancing cost of US will go up. Since the refinancing cost will go up, the US fiscal deficit, which is already in multi-trillion, I repeat, which is already in multi-trillion, would increase further, which would dent the financial markets. To summarize the situation, we are not very far from a great recession. My point is very clear that a great recession is coming. That is a separate thing, whether we are prepared for the great recession or we are not prepared for the great recession. That's a big thing. But Indian media is a great media, because Indian media will always present the picture that recession is not coming. I personally see that the situation in the financial market would be very, very worst in the upcoming time. And when I'm using a word financial market, I'm referring to the global financial market. Nifty is 16,300 approximately. The Sensex is near about 54,000. And I personally continue to believe that the situation is really, really worst for the emerging markets. As we speak today, I was looking at Sri Lanka and I went to Google. You know that I spare a lot of time on Google. Like if I show you this is the index methodology of Bloomberg. You can refer that. This is the index methodology of Bloomberg. I have taken a printout of that, and very surprisingly, I got lots of errors. Check this. You can see my notes, lot of errors, and I'm surely going to be making a video in that regards. Sri Lanka's situation is very bad. India's situation is also very bad. Not to mention the Pakistan situation, Nepal situation. Across everywhere, the situation is turning out to be very, very bad. The default is looming. I repeat, the default is looming. But once again, the biggest question is, are we ready for that? That's the most important thing. I feel that at least 2 to 3 global economies would default. Like Bank of England said that our recession risk is here, and I am warning you people since several months. Anyways, at the end, of course, I have a separate video in that regards, maybe probably tomorrow. I would like to congratulate you, everyone, regarding the fraud by the Axis Mutual Fund. You can refer my Facebook. I have warned people many times from the last several months that mutual funds are doing fraud, but no one bothered. Now Axis Mutual Fund did the fraud. And if you are thinking that this fraud is the only thing which they did, then please correct yourself, because it is a front running fraud. And front running cannot be done by one individual or two individuals. It's a very common practice in multiple countries of the globe. On paper, Indian mutual funds have lot of compliances. Compliance this, they have compliance committee, and so. Two fund managers being stepped down from the Axis Mutual Fund. But why didn't the CEO and the CRO, Chief Executive Officer and Chief Risk Officer of Axis Mutual Fund, not resigned? Nothing would happen. A committee would form. This committee will impose a fine of 2 crore, 3 crore, maximum 4 crores on Axis Mutual Fund. No license would get confiscated. The people, those who are removed, they get jobs somewhere else, and this whole process would continue. At the end, who lost is the investor. That's the most important thing. Anyways, to conclude, the upcoming times are precarious. Please be ready. Do the research. Don't do stupidity. This is what I can say. Thank you very much. This is Rahul Magan here as a Treasury Consulting Group. You know my personal number 9899242978. Have a great time. Thank you. Good evening. This is Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore. And we are a multinational hedge fund, which means we are taking up positions in US equities, US indices, European equities, European indices, Asian equities, Asian indices. Apart from that, we take position in currencies and commodities. But like I said, our fund is a closed-end fund, which means no third party can enter in this fund. But yes, God is very kind. Our fund is 100% profitable in nature. Before I continue, let me give you a good news, which is our fund, our OTT platform over the top, successfully tested the 10 minutes video, which means that now our subscribers can have 10 minutes video, knowledgeable videos, which covers financial market, wealth management, penny stocks, commodities, currencies, crypto, CFA, and many more asset classes. Today, our wealth management platform also launched the coverage of 800 plus penny stocks in India. By coverage, I means the learning videos. We started the learning videos on 800 plus penny stocks in India and 200 plus penny stocks in Dubai market. Like I promised, we entering into the Dubai market and we initiated that. The topic of today is the front running. I have this document which I did printed from the website The Print. And as you know that I spare a lot of time in doing the research, because to me, like, counts, dislike, comment, views, all these things are completely immaterial in nature. And it do not matters to me. That's more important thing. I have been warning people since months that Indian mutual funds are acting as pimps in the equity market. So let me give you a brief background. I worked as a corporate treasurer in American companies for 10 years. You name the mutual fund and I dealt with, whether this is IDFC mutual fund, HDFC mutual fund, ICICI mutual fund, SBI mutual fund, Birla mutual fund, Kotak mutual fund. In fact, not only at this period, today, Treasury Consulting invests money with the top 10 mutual funds of India. So I know the direct relationship managers of mutual fund. In fact, people who are at a national level, I know that. National head is the highest authority in the mutual fund, and I know majority of them. I have been warning people since months that Indian mutual funds are nothing but acting as a pimp on behalf of loss-making companies. Like in the last 1 month, I got number of evidences on Google that Indian mutual funds invested in loss-making companies, which includes Zomato, Paytm, and many other loss-making companies. In fact, Indian mutual fund, and specifically talking the equity schemes of the mutual fund, invested in few stocks where I don't think they deserved investment from the mutual fund. So one thing which we need to learn, specifically that mutual funds are responsible for manage of the retail money. This is something which we need to learn and we cannot run away from that. So they are responsible to manage the retail money. They have no right and no guidelines in India is saying that mutual funds can invest the retail investor money in a loss-making company. But very recently, they not only invested in a loss-making company, but Indian mutual fund invested 4,000 crores in LIC. So LIC opened the anchor book. Now anchor book is nothing but QIB, qualified institutional buyer. Now since LIC opened the anchor book, out of 5,500 crores, approximately 4,000 crores invested by Indian mutual funds. 4,000 crores is invested by Indian mutual funds, which means around 70% of the funding is done by mutual fund. And they also invested in loss-making companies like Paytm, Zomato, and all. So when I got this document and the information about the Axis mutual fund scandal, I wasn't surprised. Probably many people in the market were surprised, but I wasn't surprised. Let it be very, very honest. I wasn't surprised. Now, what is that scandal? Axis mutual fund is saying that they fired two people. Number one, Viresh Joshi, and number two, Deepak Agarwal. Why? Because of the suspicious trading activities. And what market is saying? Market is saying Axis mutual fund involved in front running. And you would be very, very surprised that Indian media has reached that level of corruption. I repeat, Indian media has reached that level of corruption when they started giving the half information. After reading 6 pages, since I worked as an ex-corporate treasurer, I know everything. I know how the front running is performed. I was surprised, rather shocked to see that what kind of definition of the front running was given by Indian media. So what is front running according to the media? Let's speak from the media angle. Number one, you buy 100 shares, 200 shares, 500 shares, 700 shares, maximum 1000 shares. This is what you and we buy, because our pockets are not like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos and all these people. This is how we buy. But mutual fund do not buy like this. Mutual fund buy 100,000 shares, 200,000 shares, 500,000 shares, sometimes 1 million shares. Big lot they pick up. Like if mutual fund invested 4,000 crores, in LIC IPO, and one IPO and the price at 949 according to the public information, then you can guess how many stocks they purchased. It's a huge quantity. Me and you, if need to buy LIC trading at 1,000, probably 100 shares, max to max 200 shares, we can buy. So in that eventuality, the market manipulation is zero. Because if anyone is buying 200 shares of LIC, market manipulation is zero. He cannot manipulate the market. But assuming somebody buying 5 lakh shares of LIC, 1 million share of LIC, then the price of the LIC will go up substantially. Alternatively, if somebody is selling LIC assuming 1 million share, then the price will come down substantially. Please note this is an example. Now, front running is of two types. Number one, the buy side. Number two, the sell side. But the corruption level in India has reached a level that they only explain the buy side front running. They never explain the sell side front running. Don't worry, I will explain what is buy side and what is sell side front running. Suppose now let us create a hypothetical example. I repeat, I am creating a hypothetical example. Assuming I am working in ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. I am creating hypothetical example. I am working in ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund and I am having a equity scheme. I am a portfolio manager. I am having an equity scheme whereby the corpus is 30,000 crores. Right? 30,000 crores. So I wanted to buy TCS. Now TCS is currently near about 3,500. That's a separate thing that the Indian media gave sufficient hype to TCS. Let it be honest. Too much hype to TCS. Now I have a corpus of 30,000 crores. I won't be buying 100 shares and the 200 shares of TCS. It's a common sense. I would be buying 500,000 shares, probably 1 million share in the TCS. Because my corpus is 30,000 crores and the retail investor who invested money with me, they are idiots because 99% of the retail investors themselves do not understand where the money is being headed. Because majority of the retail investor never see the fact sheet. Rather, I'm sure majority of you heard fact sheet first time. Now, I am a portfolio manager of ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund, Rahul Magan, and I wanted to buy TCS which is currently at 3,500, assuming. All hypothetical example, assuming. I know if I'm buying 1 million share, then the price will go up substantially. At least 30 rupees, 40 rupees, probably 60 rupees also price can go. The theoretical definition of front running, I repeat, the theoretical definition of front running is before that person execute the trade, he buy in his own account. So I buy 1 million share in my own account, and once I do for my mutual fund, the price will go up substantially. Then I sell my holding and book the profit. This is called front running. But Indian regulator and media is too idiotic that they do not know that this is the partial definition of front running. This isn't the complete definition of front running, because if I am buying this share from a broker, right, then broker will first ask me from where did the money is coming. Because when you open a broker account, you will share your bank statement. You will share your ITR, income tax return. And the broker will say, hold on, sir, your ITR is saying your annual salary is 25 lakh rupees. This is what a portfolio manager generally earns. 25 lakh rupees, 30 lakh rupees, probably maximum 40 lakh rupees. Right? This is salary. This is not the saving. So don't think that this is saving. Even if your salary is 40 lakh rupees, after all, household, wife, kids, education and all expenses, you end up saving 10 lakh rupees maximum, not more than that. Probably 10 lakh is on the higher side, let it be honest. So the broker would be asking, sir, your salary is 45 lakh rupees and you are doing a deal of 1 crore minimum. This is actual front running, but there is one more of front running which I'm going to be explaining. Generally, the traditional definition of front running is the mutual funds before buying a bulk lot, which is also known as block trading in US language. They take the position in their personal accounts. Because if I am a portfolio manager of ICICI Potential Mutual Fund and I am buying 1 million shares of TCS, then of course price will go up. It's a common sense. But what I'm going to be doing, rather than before buying on behalf of ICICI, I would be buying in my own account, plus I would be informing people in the market, which is never been discussed in the media and by the regulators in India. I know ample of people, those who coming on the social media daily basis. I'm not naming them. They coming on Facebook. They coming on Twitter. I have seen enough Twitter people. They daily base post, I earned 17 lakh rupees. I earned 20 lakh rupees. I earned 18 lakh rupees. Oh, today I lost 6 lakh rupees. Next day I earned 25 lakh rupees. Front running is not all about doing yourself. Front running is also all about passing that information in the market, which is also known as insider trading. That he would be passing the information that ICICI Mutual Fund is going to buy 1 million share of TCS, which means the price has to go up. But our beloved media will never discuss this, probably because of the knowledge issue. When I say beloved media, I'm referring to the all media channels and of course the regulator. This is buy-side front running. Probably in the next videos, I would be discussing sell-side front running. I feel pity on the Indian media that the kind of knowledge level they have. And you know guys, the problem is not the front running. The problem is the retail investor money is being invested in the loss-making companies. Please open Google, check yourself, please go. Zomato market cap has been reduced, rather, deteriorated by 88,000 crores. Please check yourself. 88,000 crores. In case of Paytm, this is more than 90,000 crores. Please check yourself. Paytm is listed 2150, and as we speak, Paytm is having a price of near about 550. Zomato listed around 144. As we speak, the price is near about 60. Forget the Nikea, the Policy Bazaar, the Card Trade and others. The biggest worry for Indian mutual funds is not the front running which we got it from Axis Mutual Fund. And there is no guarantee, without quoting any name, that other mutual funds in India are not doing that. It's a self-belief or a self-declaration that they are not doing so. Let it be honest. Had it been, tell me one thing, How did Paytm manage to get the mutual fund money if there is no front running which is going on? There is a significant front running is going inside the system. Significant. And Axis Mutual Fund is just the tip of an iceberg. So to conclude, and like I warned many times, I repeat, like I warned many times in my YouTube sessions, in my Facebook sessions, and on the social media, that Indian mutual funds have now become a adda. And what the hell is adda? The adda is they are investing the retail investor money in a loss-making companies. This is how Indian mutual funds are now become. And this situation is going to be more messier as the time would pass. So this Axis Bank scandal, which is being printed and circulated on the social media, this, by the way, is just tip of an iceberg. Let it be honest. It's not more than the tip of an iceberg. And first, Indian media need to learn what the hell is front running and what are the two sides of front running, which Indian media isn't sure about. That's another big problem. Anyways, this side Rahul Magan here. You knew my personal number, 9899242978. 9899242978. Have a great time ahead. Good evening, friends. This side Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore. We are a multinational hedge fund who take positions in Europe, US, and Asia, apart from currency and commodities. But having said that, and I did repeat it many times, that our fund is a prop fund, which means no third party can invest in our fund, be it venture capitalist, private equity, or whosoever. Today we would be talking about a very, very important topic, which is a mix of what is happening in the Indian capital market, and more importantly, I would say the foreign institutional investors, those who are selling in India. Now, I made the statistics from the internet. You can see that I made the statistics from the internet. Foreign institutional investors are continuously selling in India. Effective 2021 March, you can say, they started their selling. And this selling is still evident. Rather, I would say in the last 4 months of 2022, institutional investors sold heavily in India. And domestic institutional investors are finding it very tough to give a competition to foreign institutional investor, because almost every passing day FII are selling, and I have the statistics to prove this. So number one, in January 2021, institutional investors bought 8980 crores worth of equity. So whatever number which I'm referring is a cash number. I'm not including any FNO. So institutional investor bought 8980 crore of equities in cash. In February 2021, they bought 42,044 crores in India. In March, they bought 1246 crores worth of equities in India. And this is I would say, the last buying done by the institutional investor. A very small buying done in September. But if we exclude that, effective March 2021, I repeat, effective March 2021 till April 2022, which means more than 1 year, institutional investors not bought in India. They are on a selling spree. Now, selling spree means they are consistently selling in India. In April 2021, they sold 12,039 crores, 12039 crores. In May 2021, they sold 6015 crore. In June 2021, they sold 26 crores. In July 2021, they sold 23,194 crores. In August 2021, they sold 2568 crores. In September 2021, they bought 913 crores. So like I said, if I exclude September for a while, then from March 2021 till April 2022, institutional investors are the only sellers. They haven't bought. In October, the real picture starts. In October 2021, so practically speaking, October 2021 onwards, the real picture starts. Institutional investors sold 25,572 crores. In November, they sold very near to 40,000 crores, which is 39,901 crores. In December, they sold 35,494 crores. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. In the 12 months, institutional investors sold 91,700 crores. This is the total money they sold in India only 2021. And that reminds me a very important logic that many Einstein, Edisons, Newtons are on the internet, those who used to say that Nifty will touch 25,000 and Sensex will touch 1 lakh. I still remember what Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has said. I will not repeat that. You please check yourself on the Google, you will get to know. And one thing I fail to understand, how these people make predictions. Are they deliberately misguiding the people? That Nifty will go here, Sensex will go here. Even few weeks ago, I have seen somebody talking it about that Sensex will touch 1 lakh. Sensex will touch 1 lakh. Oh my God. So if I add 2021, then institutional investors sold 91,700 crores, which is a huge amount. But the panic button hasn't pressed. They pressed the panic button in 2022, and that too very, very, very pushy way. In January 2022, they sold 41,365 crores. In February 2022, they sold 45,720 crores. In March 2022, they sold 43,281 crores. In April 2022, they sold 40,652 crores, which means in 2022, if I take January, February, March and April, together they sold 1,71,000 crores. 1,71,000 crores. Only in 4 months. And if I add 2021, it means in the last 16 months, I repeat, in the last 16 months, institutional investors sold, let me use my best friend, 91,700 plus 171, to be precise, 2,62,700 crores divided by 16. It means on an average, they are selling 16,418 crores. So 2,62,700 crores is the total cash volume they sold in the last 16 months. And if I divide this number with 16, I am getting on an average basis, they sold 16,418 crores. And this statistics is not from my side. I have taken this from the Money Control website. And that is really a scary thing, because if this trend persists probably for another 5 to 6 months, then God knows what is going to happen. And especially when the central banks of the globe are increasing their interest rate. Like Federal Reserve increased by 50 bips. They are saying that in the next 2 meetings, they 50 bips hike again on the cards. Bank of England hiked the rate. Bank of Chile hiked the rate. India did hike the rate. Whosoever hiked the rate, the market fell. Whosoever hiked the rate, the market simply fell. And if these central banks are thinking that they would be able to tame the market by hiking the rate, then they are the number one idiot of the globe. Number one idiot of the globe. I got another statistics from, the internet. But before I tell about these statistics, I hope you are aware that Delhi Very IPO is coming this week. And Delhi Very is a loss-making company. I got statistics of Delhi Very also. I am planning a detailed video in that regards on the YouTube channel. In the last 4 years, which is financial year 18, 19, 20 and 21, Delhi Very lost 3,172 crores. It means in the last 4 years, Delhi Very lost 3,172 crores. Precisely very close to 800 crores per year. Precisely very close to 800 crores per year. This is Delhi Very lost on an average basis in the last 4 years. And I'm not talking about this. Please don't take me otherwise. I'm not talking about this. These statistics I have downloaded from the internet. You know that I am a person of research. If I speak with the data in my hand. Until I don't have the data, I never speak. And this company granted the IPO by SEBI. That is another beautiful thing, because the company who lost 3,172 crores in the last 4 years, they got the approval from SEBI. Another interesting fact is that Paytm, whose listing price was 2,150, is now 568, which means 73% of the investment value. I repeat, 73% of the investment value of the Paytm has been eroded. 73%. In case of car trade, whose IPO price was 1618 precisely, the current price is 646. It means I would say 60% of the investment value has been eroded. 60%. Fino Payment Bank, and I did made the video on the Fino Payment Bank. I warned investor on the Fino Payment Bank since it's a loss-making company. Fino Payment Bank having an IPO price of 577 and current price is 285. 51% of the IPO price is gone. And at a given point of time, Zomato was near about 144. And now Zomato is around 60. Around 60. You compute yourself. So one side, institutional investors are continuously selling. We have the statistics in our hand. Second side, the loss-making startups are getting the approval to raise the money and play with the investors' money. And I'm sure that the IPO of Delivery, which is coming this week, our beloved Indian media would be giving sufficient, I repeat, would be giving sufficient hype to Delivery. And make sure that Delivery will get that level of hype so that the investors will invest in this hype. So guys, let me warn you very carefully. Central banks are committing the big mistake by hiking the rate, and they are thinking that by hiking the rate, they would be able to tame the inflation. They believe in that theory. I'm telling you a huge mess is on the way. And when I'm using a word mess, I'm not talking about India, I'm talking about globally. We have seen that the Dow Jones is near about 33,000, precisely 32,800. Nasdaq is near about 12,700 and Standard & Poor is near about 4,100. And I'm not bullish on all three because American economy is a debt-ridden economy. That's a separate thing that the media of America is more or less, you know what I mean to say. If this trend persists, the Asia would also face the heat. I'm telling you. And for your information, India debt to GDP ratio is very close to 100%. According to the website Statistica, India debt in financial year 22 is near about 3.01 trillion, while the Indian GDP is also 3 trillion, which means the debt to GDP ratio of India is very close to 100%. Summing up this as a background, I would like to request investor to be very, very careful, because Russia-Ukraine war is not yet done. Yeah, of course, if you are thinking it is done, that is your problem. That is not at all the Russia problem. Russia-Ukraine war is not yet done. There are chances that Russia may mess it up. I hope you understand what we mean by mess it up. I request investor to do the complete due diligence on the internet. Do as maximum as research on the internet, and please do not do stupidities. That's what I would like to warn. Else you are the best judge. One thing I am very clear that the second half of 2022, which is starting from next month, probably 1 month from next month, from 1st July, the second half of 2022 would be more volatile what we saw in the first half of 2022. At the end, I did my job warning people like I'm doing always. It is up to you. If you take this, thank you very much. If you do not take this, thank you very much. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number. 9899242978. 9899242978. Today, I'm also very happy that our OTT platform very successfully, I repeat, very successfully tested the 10 minutes video. It is done. It would be live in this week. Thank you. And we are committed to challenge Amazon and Netflix very soon, probably in another couple of years. Have a great time ahead. Thank you.